Hey there, I'm Jen representing Motorcycle.com. We're in San Diego and this is a first ride review on the Kawasaki Z500. All right, so the big news for this year is that the Z400 has graduated up and it is the Z500 now. So previous editions was that $399 parallel twin that we've seen for many years, and Kawasaki's gone ahead and just bumped it up a little bit to 451cc. And riders are gonna appreciate and notice that difference in torquiness and also that cruising freeway speeds. You're gonna have just a little bit more room for comfort if you're going at those top speed levels. Now, it does share a lot of the similar DNA to the previous Z400. I'm talking about the frame, the subframe, suspension, brakes. All of these things are kind of carrying over from that last generation, which is honestly a good thing because Kawasaki's done a lot of work to get all of that chassis sorted out so it works really good for you. All right, but let's talk about what's new besides the engine displacement. What you're gonna see on the Z500 is sharper body styling. Kawasaki's really paid attention to making this bike look sharp and racy. So you're gonna appreciate seeing that. It's gonna have a brighter LED headlight and LED taillight. It also has a different dash depending on which model you're gonna get. So the SE model is gonna have that fancy full color TFT dash that you see in their higher end models like the ZX6R, 4R, etc. And if you get the base model, you're gonna see a traditional TFT dash. A big note about the Z500, it comes standard with ABS. So there's no non-ABS addition. Honestly, this is a good thing. I think riders of all skill levels really benefit from that technology. And then finally, the Z500 is gonna have connectivity with the Rideology app. So it's gonna, again, join all of its other brothers and sisters in the Kawasaki family and being able to connect to your smartphone. All right, so let's talk about ergonomics real quick. So the Z500 is targeted toward entry-level riders, and it does have a lot of creature comforts, so you're gonna be comfortable right away on this bike if you're a newer rider. The seat height is one of those things that really stands out. It's around 30 inches. So for someone like me, I'm 5'4", a little bit on the shorter side, I'm completely flat foot on this bike. And that is really excellent, especially if you're a new rider, you're working on your balancing, how to maneuver the bike and tricky parking situations. This is a bike that's lightweight and also you could flat foot on, so you're gonna have no problems there moving it around when you're in the city or out on the ride. When it comes to the rider triangle, the Z500 is more of an upright neutral position. So that's kind of nice. If you're looking at maybe the Ninja versus the Z, you're gonna be a little bit more upright and comfortable for all day riding. I did notice when I put my feet on the foot pegs, there's a little bit more bend to the knee than I was expecting, but I was really comfortable all day. I also talked to my taller counterparts on the ride and nobody had complaints about being comfortable on the Z500. I wanna say, like, just hands down, the Z500 is an excellent city bike. You know, we started our ride in downtown San Diego. It's kind of a bustling town. There's pedestrians everywhere. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of one-way streets we're kind of figuring out. And we were easy to filter and flow through this traffic because the Z500 is so light and nimble. And again, it has that nice responsiveness on the throttle at the bottom end. So if you're a city commuter or if you're gonna be in kind of those urban environments, I think there's a lot you're gonna appreciate about the Z500. Also, if you're doing a lot of city commuting, you know, you're gonna be in a lot of stop and go. And that's gonna be all about that clutch lever. This has gotta be one of the smoothest and lightest clutches I've ever dealt with on a motorcycle. So if you're gonna be in the city all day, you're gonna appreciate that that is so nice and light. And also it has the slip assist clutch as well. So when you're shifting gears, it is pretty smooth and you're not gonna have a lot of bad feedback through that transmission. All right, I do wanna point out though, the Z500 is gonna keep your heart pumping out in the canyons too. We got into some really tight technical terrain and it is so nimble, so agile out there. There's a lot of trail braking situations and I'm pleased to report the suspension doesn't dive, it doesn't do anything funny when you're hitting that corner. And the bike is just so stable on the side of the tire. It was something else that surprised me too. I guess it shouldn't surprise me. I've had a lot of time on the Ninja 400 on a racetrack. So to see that its brother, the Z400, Z500 now, has that really good handling that you want in the corners. All right, so just a couple of nitpicks I have. I found the suspension was a little stiff and I'm actually a big fan of that. When you're in the corners, you do want a stiffer suspension. You don't want it to be plush or wallowy. So I like it for that, but when we hit some potholes or kind of other terrain like that in the cityscape, it felt a little bit harsh, so just bear that in mind. And then when we're on the freeways and we're getting up to speed, I did find that the Z500 gets a little buzzy from like 6,500 RPMs and up. Again, this is a nitpick. You only feel it in your seat a little bit, and once you're in the more happy range, I would say the happier range on the Z500 is anywhere from like 4,000 to 6,000. It still sounds great. It's not uncomfortable and buzziness in the seat or on the handlebars. So if you go ahead and manage your gearing and make sure you're in the right place, then it's not really a nitpick anymore. All right, so to wrap things up, I think the Z500 is an excellent entry-level bike for a new rider. There's a lot to appreciate about it. It looks great, it has very usable power, and I also think this bump up in the engine displacement means this bike can last a lot longer for newer riders. So it doesn't have to just be like for 2 years and you're done with it, you gotta move on to the next one. I think a lot of riders can appreciate it from 3 to 5 to 7 years easily. And then in addition to that, it's just a good all-arounder. I think there's a lot of really skilled or experienced or older riders who are just gonna love this bike just for their quick commutes, having fun in the canyons, just getting on a cheaper bike and not having to worry about all the bells and whistles of more expensive leader bikes, things like that. This is a fun bike you could hop on for not a lot of money and you can still go fast. All right, so just a reminder that the Z500 comes in 2 editions. There's the SE that comes with a lot of accessories added on. And so that one's gonna price in around $6,299. And then there's of course the base model, and that prices in around $5,599. So that's gonna do it. That's our wrap up on the Z500. Go to Motorcycle.com to read more.